Hey, welcome to an episode of His and Hers Gen X podcast with me, Chad,
Me, Christina.
and we have a guest on this side, Milo from the 80s and 90s Uncensored. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
Yep. So this is I guess you could call this part two of a collab because Chris and I were just on Milo's show talking about the movie Mallrats, and now we're having Milo on our show to talk about music. So,
Yeah.
but before we get into the subject, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little about your show, Milo?
Yeah, the 80s and 90s Uncensored. So, generally, if it happened between those two glorious decades, it is up for debate. Hosted by myself and my buddy Jamie, who did most of the episodes with me, although he's not doing the show anymore. I shouldn't even mention him. But basically, it's a mix of pop culture, nostalgia. Occasionally, I'll get into serious subjects. I like to have guests on now, like you guys, where we talked about Mallrats. And that's pretty much it. Each episode's around 30 minutes long. And so you're not going to be stuck listening for something for hours on end like some shows. And
Right.
it's perfect for your Monday morning drive commute to work.
Yeah, we try to keep our show about a half hour, maybe 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like if we're on a roll, we'll just keep going.
We
but-
can go longer if
yeah.
it's a long movie, but sometimes these short movies we struggle.
Yeah.
The 30's perfect.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I think that's a good time to aim for. Like, I mean, I'll go longer as well, but and sometimes shorter. But
Yeah. I don't know about you. I listen to my podcasts at usually 2x speed. So it's like when we're recording it, it feels like we're talking for like hours. And then when I listen to it in my headphones as I'm like cleaning the house or walking or whatever, and it wraps up in like 15 minutes because I'm listening to it at 2x speed. I'm like, man, I felt like we went forever, but it's
like it's so
Really?
quick. It's amazing.
you just pack a lot of information into a short amount of time, you know?
Oh, I cannot do that. I can't.
Do you get tired of listening to your own voice after a certain point in time? Because like I'll edit, and then you do the edits and pass through, and then of course sometimes you'll listen to the episode, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to hear myself anymore.
I don't, but I guess I'm just so used to it because I've been on YouTube since like 2008. I have another channel called Chad's Beer Reviews, and I've been reviewing beer there like at least once a week for like the last 18 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a lot
yeah,
of
I'm
beer.
used to seeing and hearing myself. It doesn't bother me.
All
Yeah.
right.
I don't really like watching. I don't mind listening to our videos. I don't really like watching them.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, for me, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, so let's get into this week's subject. So up until now, our show has been pretty much mostly movie reviews, which wasn't the intention when we started it. It just worked out that way. 'cause,
They're
like,
easy. It's easy.
Yeah, it's easy, and like the holidays, it's easy to come up with themes like Halloween, Christmas, obviously.
Mhm.
And so like we made a commitment, like we're gonna do something other than movies, and we finally did some music reviews. So like we take turns each week. One of us picks something for the other to discover,
Yeah.
and it's funny because so we take turns picking the theme of the month, but not necessarily who goes first. So I picked music for this month, and Christina, her first pick was
The Cure, Disintegration.
Yep. And then I picked Rush, Moving Pictures, and then you picked
Fleetwood Mac. Rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the fourth and final entry this month is Metallica, Master of Puppets. Oops.
Which has nothing to do with Mallrats.
No.
Very
I'm trying
different.
to find here it is.
Yeah, and so I gotta say, by the way,
Mhm.
Chad, your lack of love for Disintegration offends me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't like it. You should hear my brother. He hated it.
Oh, Kindred
Oh,
Spirit.
no.
Yeah, he did. His brother. He just walked out. He's like, I hated that album.
Oh, I love that album. So yeah, I listened to that episode and it's probably one I raised myself on that album. I
Yeah.
was totally the moody, like kind of theater nerd, and
Yes.
love that album.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's what it is. You didn't identify with being a theater nerd.
the only song
Mhm.
I knew of was Love Song. And it's funny because I'd always associate The Cure, like all their top hits are ballads.
Hmm.
And so you kind of think of them as like a romance band, but they're really not.
I think a lot of their songs are very upbeat. I think people think of them as this kind of dour, like down, depressing goth music,
Mhm.
but especially their later albums. I mean, this one maybe not as much, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of the music is actually much more upbeat than people give them credit for.
Yeah. Especially the early stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic. So,
All right.
we're talking about Metallica Master of Puppets. It just hit its 40th. 40th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
As like when we usually, well, this is something I really didn't discover until like the 2000s. I mean, I had always known of Metallica and heavy metal and that stuff as a kid growing up. I don't know how it was like in your high school or even middle school. There was like so many headbanger kids that all wore Metallica, Anthrax, Slayer t-shirts. That's like how I knew of them, just from seeing t-shirts on kids at school.
Yeah, Beavis.
Yeah.
Didn't Beavis have a Metallica shirt?
Yeah, or was it ACD? One of them did. One of them had ACDC, one of them had Metallica.
But it had ACDC.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would see kids and like the metal kids
Yeah.
at school that have the black shirts on.
It's funny because like you guys both said you liked The Cure,
Mm-hmm.
but how are you on metal back then?
Well, for me, it's interesting because I went through this period in maybe 8th, 9th grade, maybe a little bit before I got into theater, where I was really good friends with a total metalhead. We had the jean jackets, we had the t-shirts. I had this cassette tape. I listened to AC/DC, all that kind of stuff. So I went through a phase where I was a metalhead. And then I kind of got out of that phase, and that's when I got into my moody goth theater kid phase. But I did have this cassette tape for a while.
Did you like it back then?
I did. I, of course, like a lot of people, probably prefer the Black album the best. Their
oh, really?
I like the Black album. But yeah, I did.
Yeah,
like
I think I do too.
And I listened to it all through today, and it was funny because I'm like, oh man, yeah, I totally dig this. It is very nostalgic for me.
Yeah, the Black album was my first Metallica album too, and like I that was my hopping on board point with them, and I never listened to the back catalog, the Cliff Burton years, until the 21st century. So we're gonna go track by track on this. Before we do, like we kind of like talk about like the album cover first. So what was your reaction back then and now? Like, how would you, as an art critic, how would you judge this album cover?
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't give it any thought back then, truthfully.
I didn't either until he started asking this question, and then you get a close look. But it looks like a marionette. So there's strings. The puppets. Why are the puppets graves?
Yeah,
it's graves.
It's very dark graves. Got the kind of and it's got the red background to go with that kind of devilish kind of thing or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's very heavy metal. It's very Metallica. Like if I were to see this even without their name on the top of it and just generic name here, I could predict this as a heavy metal album, like a Metallica album or a Poison album or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know how you guys, well, I mean, I know how Christina was raised, but I was raised in a pretty conservative Christian household. And I remember as a kid seeing so many crosses and things like that associated with heavy metal. I was like, man, for music that's supposed to be about the devil, they really show a lot of crosses.
Well, aren't they upside down?
No.
Well, Ozzy Osbourne, I guess he wore a lot of crosses, didn't he? So
yeah, well, that's because he thought he was under a hex. Yeah, he wore a crucifix to protect himself against a hex.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
But I remember I always liked metal covers because, I don't know, they were always kind of disturbing. This one's kind of, it's okay. I bet this was a moral panic thing, though, for... Was this an album that parents didn't want their kids listening to and tried to get banned?
Totally, yeah. This is I don't know if this is peak satanic panic, but it
was up there.
It's right there. Yeah, it was definitely mid 80s. It's probably peak satanic panic, truthfully.
Yeah.
So this is a detail I hadn't really noticed until now. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but can you see this where the cursor is? right here.
No, I'm not seeing your cursor.
Oh, here it is.
There's something dangling. What is that?
Yeah, that's
Is that a tampon?
It's supposed to be a dog tag. So
Oh.
yeah, like, and as we'll get into some of the songs, is like this is kind of like a commentary on like war, and also, well, and obviously the actual song "Master of Puppets" is about addiction, and Christine and I were saying off camera is like so many like the references to demonic things in metal back then. When they were talking about demons, they're talking about like their own inner demons, because like almost all of them were like drunks, heroin, cokeheads. You know, they were addicted to something.
Yes.
And like all the great, it doesn't even have to be metal. A lot of songs are about addiction and about somebody just trying to, get over their own inner demons.
Yeah. So it's just misinterpreted.
Yeah. So like as a kid, I always thought this was like creepy, like kind of devilish, like this is supposed to be like God's hands, and like the puppet strings on the graves. So I guess it's supposed to be kind of like a military grave. Have you ever actually been to like a real military cemetery? Like all the headstones are like in perfect alignment, like it's like a grid.
Yeah.
Although they're not crosses, they're like little white slates, but
yeah, they're very uniform. Just keeping that military mindset of like everything looks exactly the same, everything's in order, everything's straight.
Yeah. All right, so we're a few minutes in and we still haven't played music yet, so let's rectify that. So we're gonna start. The opening song is called Battery, and it opens with, I don't know if it's a Spanish guitar or acoustic guitar, but it's definitely not an electric guitar. And did you ever hear the album before this, Ride the Lightning?
No.
That album also opened with a Spanish guitar or acoustic guitar.
Okay.
And this is very heavy metal of the era, like where you start with this like slow guitar bit, and then you go this heavy metal like bit right there, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I said that it goes into an explosive thrash all of a sudden.
That's
kind of like a concert would be like, you know.
Oh, this would be perfect for opening a concert. People would go nuts as soon as that dropped.
Yeah, and then it gets even faster after this. The only problem is there's no captions.
There's no lyrics.
I know, which would be really helpful. Although, I mean, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, I guess not much point. But I assume anybody who's watching this or listening to the audio podcast is probably familiar with this album already. Like, if this is your first time hearing it, like, go listen to it and then come back. So, yeah, this might be one of the best opening tracks for a metal album, or even in general.
Okay.
Milo, did you ever see that movie High Fidelity with John Cusack?
Oh yeah, I love that film.
You remember that part in the record store where they're saying like top 5, side ones, track ones?
Yeah.
This would probably be, I don't know if it'd be my top 5 of all time, but it would definitely be a contender.
Oh, I've never really given that much thought, but yeah, that's totally that scene for that film of like top 5 best opening album songs.
Yeah.
It's good because it sets you up for and this is back in the day, by the way, when they did albums like this, where you're intended to listen to it from like beginning to end, versus now where it's just a bunch of singles. And and so yeah, you can see it starting off with that little slow bit, and it just goes into rock and heavy metal, Metallica music that you're like, yeah.
Yeah. Great opening track. Actually, I had the behind the scenes. Let's see.
Behind the scenes for Battery?
Actually,
or the album?
Oh, it says it opens with a clean acoustic intro inspired by classical guitar before exploding in the thrash. Yeah. It doesn't really tell you much about it.
So is that Kurt? Is his name Kirk Hammond?
Kirk Hammett.
Is that him, or is this Clive?
Clive.
Is his name Clive?
No, you're thinking of Cliff.
Oh, Cliff.
Well, yes. Cliff was the bassist.
Oh, okay.
Kirk Hammett was the lead guitarist. James Hetfield is the rhythm guitarist and vocalist. Cliff Burton played bass, and Lars Ulrich on drums.
Okay.
And actually, they've had a few different lineups over the years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've changed people.
Like actually, the original Metallica lineup was Dave Mustaine, who went on. They kicked him out because he was so
Probably
into
on
drugs
drugs.
and alcohol. Yeah, and he went on to form Megadeth.
Yeah.
And he had a pretty good, successful career.
He did all right.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's move on to the title song, "Master of Puppets." I don't think that there was an actual. They just call this a official lyric video. This is, I mean,
They must have had videos. It was the 80s, right?
they actually didn't make any videos for MTV until the next album.
91 is when I remember seeing them on MTV, like Enter
Yeah,
Sandman.
the Black Album, yeah.
Yeah, constant. That's when I became familiar with them.
Yeah. So their first actual music video on MTV wasn't until One off of Injustice for All. So Master of Puppets, this is one of those songs that if your parents heard it, they probably flip out like, what is this, like devil music, But
Or if they saw this music video, just watching it as you're playing it, and like,
Yeah.
and this
dark.
video is only from 3 years ago. I mean, I don't know if this is AI or
That's
or
probably
just something
handmade.
somebody generated based on the
Yeah.
music. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is.
This is an interesting. It's almost a thrash / progressive metal hybrid, because most thrash songs are not this long. This is what, like 8 something minutes?
The longest one.
Yeah, 8.5 minutes. And I think there's a radio version where it ends like around the halfway point. Because I remember hearing this on the radio, but not until like post 9/11 or 21st century. I don't remember hearing this on the radio in the 80s or 90s. Do you?
I don't
No.
think so. This is one of 2 songs on this album that I was familiar with. I didn't know the rest. So I heard this somewhere. Could have been a movie. I don't know where I heard it.
Yeah, it's been in a few movies.
But wherever I heard it, I'm sure it was not this long.
Mhm.
We were listening to this on a drive to the beach, and I said, this is like one of the longest songs I've ever heard in my life, because they just keep doing that master part
Yeah.
repeatedly.
The whole album, all of the songs are really long.
That is true.
It's
Maybe-
long for, because, so this is 8.5, 6.5, 6.5, 8, 5:40, 8.5, 5:30.
Yeah,
It's kind of just repetitive for me. Not my
it
favorite.
goes on. It does change though.
Really?
Kind of, I think halfway through it slows down and then speeds up again or something.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
part where they would fade it out on radio.
Yeah, probably. I do like the melody in the middle. That is nice.
Me too.
And it's funny, I actually didn't know a lot of the lyrics until in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never had, this is like one of those, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s like we did, even if your friend had the CD, like they would you could record the CD onto a cassette tape, or if they had it, like you could duplicate a cassette.
Oh, yeah, you could.
You might not have the liner notes and all that stuff, so you had to, and there was no internet, so a lot of times you would mishear lyrics.
Mhm.
Oh, all the time. You're singing along and yeah. You're not even really saying actual words. You're just making noise.
I'd say 90% of the songs from my nostalgia are probably all fake words.
Yeah, misheard.
And it's even
Misheard,
funny.
yeah.
Like sometimes when you learn the lyrics later on, you're like, oh, I was saying that completely wrong. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, that makes sense. What I was saying
Yeah.
before made no sense.
yeah. A lot of people consider this the best. Yeah, this is the part where it slows down, and like
You think
you
it's a
could
different?
totally,
I thought this was a different song.
yeah,
I thought it was going into a new song, and then it starts up with Master again.
yeah, like hard rock radio stations and like college radio stations are probably the only places you wouldn't hear this on pop radio.
No.
This,
Like
this
what-
is where if you're at the concert, you're going to pull out your lighter.
Yeah.
Light your
Yes.
lighter and slow down.
It's amazing.
I was gonna say a lot of rock critics and even people, musicians will say like this whole album is one of the greatest metal albums of all time. This song is maybe one of the greatest metal songs of all time. I could definitely see that. I mean, I would definitely say this is one of the best metal songs of all time, and it might even be Metallica's single best song. Some people might
Ooh.
put Enter Sandman on top of that, I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, best song by Metallica?
Yeah.
I would say Fade to Black or One.
Oh yeah, I love One
I
too.
love One.
What do you think, Milo?
I'm with you. I think I was thinking just off the top of my head, the first thing that came to my head was Fade to Black. But again, I haven't listened to Metallica in a really long time. So I'd have to like re-listen. It's definitely yeah.
It's funny, the two the Cure fans would go to Fade to Black. So that's like their emo song.
Totally.
And One.
Yeah.
One's pretty depressing too.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I love this song. 10 out of 10, A+, whatever. Let's move on to the thing that should not be. This is another one that starts out like with an acoustic opening. And you know, it's funny, like this has been kind of parodied. There's this, a lot of people probably aren't going to this reference, but there's this band, or was this band called OSI that was made up of some of the former Dream Theater guys and Fate's Warnings guy. And they had a song called The Thing That Never Was.
Not familiar with it.
Yeah,
No, I don't remember this one.
Let me turn it up a little.
Yeah.
The thing with this song is this is just like generic Metallica heavy metal.
It is. Yeah. The way they're all grinding together, very Metallica. You know who this is immediately.
Exactly. So it doesn't stand out to me.
Right.
But this one's interesting because it kind of has that up and down flow of hard, soft. Like right here, like this isn't too intense. Like this is just vocals and drums, and it builds up again, and then it kind of comes down.
Yeah.
This feels like it. Did you guys ever have the soundtrack to the movie The Crow? The Brandon.
Yes. We were talking about maybe reviewing that.
Yeah. This song feels like it should be on that soundtrack.
It does. It's got that grungy feel to it.
Yeah, it has that. Maybe not grunge, but maybe more like goth.
Yeah, gothy metal mix to it.
But it also has the classic James Hetfield kind of. A lot of people call it like almost like barking, kind of the way he delivers his vocals.
Oh, okay.
Because it's this weird hybrid of singing and kind of shouting at the same time.
Yeah.
You hear lesser metal bands, singers try to emulate this a lot, I think. Mm-hmm. I used to know a guy that I worked with, and he was in a metal band, and he played me some of his stuff, and I'm like, you could tell he was just kind of trying to sound like him.
No.
And I don't think it was intentional. I just kind of feel like maybe that's what he kind of thought a metal band musician should sound like, or maybe that's whatever it was. I never really asked, but it was like, I'm like, yeah, you're just kind of sounding like you're copying somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe this is all he listened to, and this is all he knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's the whole A side of this album is like all hits and bangers. This is, if you pick up any Metallica live album, chances are very good you're going to hear at least one, if not like all four of the opening tracks.
Oh, this is one of those bands. They are amazing live.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been great to see.
I've never actually seen them live.
Me neither.
I've seen them live.
I've actually never been to. I'm not a big concert guy in general.
Yeah.
Because they're so expensive.
I've seen them live, and like they're technically just perfect the way they play.
Yeah.
Like you can tell they're probably trained musicians. This is another favorite. I do love Sanitarium. This is, I think, the best song on the album for me. The opening on this is just so.
Yeah, it's another song that opens.
I think we've got very similar tastes in music.
I think so.
Because I've got this in my notes as my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, just the way this starts so slowly, and I love the pacing of this song.
Yeah, like that low tone. It's very kind of Cure-ish.
Yeah.
It's almost the exact same note.
And
I think it's just like the way the guitars are tuned.
Yeah, and I get this. It feels like it could also be on the Black album as well, and that could be why, because that's probably my favorite. That's my favorite album. I'm like, this is where we start to hear that sound that they then get into a bit later on.
Yeah, this reminds me of Fade to Black too, with the way that opens. Just very similar, I think, those two songs.
Yeah, this one's almost a ballad. Like his vocals on this are much different than the previous three songs.
He sings really well on this.
Yeah, he's he's actually like kind of crooning here, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Although
I
it
can
does.
see myself. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I could see myself back in the day, like sitting around with my friends, like in a dim room with a lava lamp going, and we're all just sitting there, like like just real quietly. Nobody's talking. We're just listening and getting into the zone of the song.
Yes.
I never really noticed. And we've only been doing this. Only our 4th music review.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I don't notice stuff about music until we start doing this podcast, and I'm starting to like notice like all this influence. Like this has a lot of like kind of like grungy influences, because like grunge was kind of like that mix of like loud and quiet. Like kind of like Smashing Pumpkins is a good example of that. And I never really noticed that until now. Is that like this song and a few of these songs have that mix of like hard followed by like soft chorus followed by intense verse, or vice versa, something like that.
Yeah. Did Metallica invent grunge?
No. I don't know. It depends who you ask. Like early Soundgarden, maybe. And it's funny because Milo, you're from Seattle, and that's basically considered like the home of grunge. Did you grow up there?
I grew up in Spokane, which is east of here, and then so I moved to Seattle in the late '90s.
Oh my gosh!
Did you ever get to see like Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains?
No, I'm not a fan of Pearl Jam. It's funny, on my podcast, it's like kind of a running series of me making fun of Pearl Jam. I can't stand Eddie Vedder's voice. Like I like his lyrics. I like the songs. I like the lyrics. His voice just sounds like he's taking a crap.
Oh, we disagree. We disagree on something.
Finally, it's like, I'm taking a crap, but I'm singing about it because I'm Eddie Vedder. Oh.
You should hear Tom Waits then.
I love Tom Waits though, but he's also, you got to be in the mood for Tom Waits. He's hard to listen to.
Yeah, so this one, I would say Welcome Home is a good one. This is, I don't know, it's just kind of like a metal trope of embracing like insanity. Like, actually, Dream Theater has a lot of stuff like that where they talk about that, but that's the subject for another sermon. Anyway, let's move on to Disposable Heroes.
This is anti-war.
Yeah, this is definitely
from the title.
Yeah, and actually they kind of repeat themselves again with Damage Incorporated. They're both about how soldiers are like pawns or whatever, and he starts saying like back to the front. You will do. I'll tell you this part. Yeah, right here. This is supposed to be like if you're like a frontline infantry and the lieutenant or whoever is yelling at you to go up there and take a bullet, or maybe it's supposed to just be like boot camp. You ever see Full Metal Jacket?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like it's a song from that point of view, I guess.
Do you know any like why they went with this kind of very like military anti-war-ish theme on the album? Did you discover anything in your research?
It was they were friends with Dave Mustaine. Dave Mustaine's always been like that, and which is kind of interesting because the 80s, relatively speaking, were more peaceful than the whole 21st century. I mean, there was the Cold War, obviously, but it wasn't like Vietnam was long gone, and this is a good 5-10 years before Iraq and 9/11 and all that stuff. I think it was just.
There was a huge anti-fascist movement in the early and mid-90s. But I mean, it explains the album cover now. So they're just puppets, the military, the dead military.
Yeah.
Guys.
Well, it's not like that's not just the theme. It's also when you're addicted to something, like now you're the puppet to whatever you're addicted to.
Yeah, but is the military the reason they're addicted or mentally ill or institutionalized? Is this supposed to be a cohesive album?
Yeah, it's kind of like that's the theme. Is if you're addicted to coke or whatever, you're as much of a pawn as frontline infantry in World War I.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if it all tied together.
Moving on, Leper Messiah. Like this is
Weird.
this is definitely the song my mom would not want me to listen to, and still wouldn't. I mean, this is just a straight up fu to
religion,
Oregon.
right?
Well,
or faith.
It's more about like televangelists.
Oh,
and yeah, like faith healers, or just because James Hetfield was raised in Christian Science Church, I believe. That's like the one where they don't believe in medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you got sick or you got hurt, you just had to like pray it till you got fixed.
Yeah.
And
so did he write this then?
Yeah, he's always had a grudge against that particular denomination. I don't know what his thoughts are now. I think as you get older, you just like that's hating religion's kind of like a young man's game. As you get older, like you just don't really have the energy, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, if you're into that, cool.
Yeah, whatever.
This is supposed to be about, like in the 80s, a lot of those televangelists got busted with hookers and drugs and all that stuff. So
they just roll up in their limo to their massive audience on TV, making millions of dollars.
Oh yeah. Do you remember Tammy Faye Baker?
Yeah.
She was married to Jim Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was the height of this.
Yeah. And,
the satanic panic and religious televangelism.
What was the guy, Jerry Falwell?
Yeah. Oh God.
Did you ever see that movie with Woody Harrelson where he was the penthouse, where he was Larry Flint?
Larry Flint.
I forget the name of it.
Something Larry
The
Flint.
People versus Larry Flint?
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's, I mean, I saw that in the theaters and I haven't seen it since, but it's funny because like that was just how the movie ended. But anyway, like that was kind of
Courtney Love plays his wife.
Yeah.
Speaking of grunge,
I was gonna say I haven't seen it. I need to watch it because I've fallen in love with Courtney Love recently, revisiting her stuff.
And coming back to what we were saying before, that movie was directed by Milos Forman, who directed One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was the inspiration for Welcome Home Sanitarium.
Oh.
Did you read the book?
I've read the book One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, yeah.
Yeah, we had to read that, I think, like in 10th and 12th grade. By the same teacher for both.
I don't think I read the book. I think I just watched the movie.
Yeah. The movie's interesting, but...
Yeah.
They're both good.
Anyway, that's the thing about our show, is we tend to like get way off topic. But yeah, this one's a good metal song. It's just, this is definitely a epitome of FU religion 80s metal. Although I would say like Slayer and like a lot of other lesser known bands like Exodus and Testament probably take it to an extreme degree. You ever heard of
Exodus?
Yeah.
No.
I've never heard. I know Slayer, but not Exodus.
Oh yeah, Exodus.
Slayer.
Exodus is the band that Kirk was in before Metallica.
Oh.
They basically stole them from Exodus. They're still around too.
Oh.
Yeah, there was tons of like everybody knows the big four are thrash bands from the 80s, but like real metalheads like know the big 8, the big 12, the big 24, you know. So yeah, this one's okay. Like this isn't something like if I have it on shuffle, I might skip past this, but like it's a decent listen.
Yeah.
Next up we got Orion.
It's at that right place in the album too. Like if you're listening to beginning to end, you start off, you work it, and this is just kind of like a bit of filler.
Yes.
Yeah. Or I would have swapped this. Like that should have been, I think that would have been a good side 2 track 1.
Ooh.
Back when you actually had to flip the record over.
Yeah. Listening to entire albums lately has been interesting because I feel like the last 3 songs or like the 2 are like the worst and then they end on a good song. I feel like they always stack the worst songs.
Yep. That's where you got to throw them.
Yep.
All right. So track 7 is Orion. This is an instrumental. And
this is Cliff Burton.
Yeah. I always thought this sounded kind of like an organ. Cause like it's so like a deep tone. It almost sounds like
sounds like a drum kit.
No, I'm talking like the let's see.
Oh, see, it sounded very 80s until I got to that exact moment.
Yeah, like this low sound here. It sounds like a 1930s Dracula movie or something.
Oh, like an organ.
Yeah. But this is a fan favorite of theirs. It's just an instrumental, But yeah, like once the guitars kick in and like they have this kind of repeating riff, like they definitely could have added lyrics to this song, I think.
Yeah.
This is a thrashing. It's thrash, but like at a lower BPM. Much slower than Master of Puppets or Battery.
Yeah. I wonder what the story is behind this. Did he just want to showcase his bass?
I think the band wanted to.
Oh, the band wanted to do it?
Yeah.
Band wanted a time to shine.
Yeah,
this is when we all go backstage and he just takes over up front.
Yeah, bass players and metal bands just are totally overlooked because guitars dominate.
It's true.
Yeah. It's ChatGPT says Orion is instrumental heavily shaped by Cliff Burton's bass work and classical influences. But this is I'm a big Dream Theater fan, and this is to me kind of like a prototypical Dream Theater kind of song. It's almost going back to 2 episodes ago. It's almost kind of like Rush or prog rock.
Yeah.
You could probably consider this a progressive metal song. To me, this is much more prog metal than thrash.
This is basically during the concert where James just kind of needs a break to let his voice relax. So they go into this and just let and he's like kind of wanders off and has a couple drinks of water.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy's on stage by himself and all the metalheads are thrashing in the audience. Like, yeah.
They usually have one instrumental per album, or at least back then they did. Like Ride the Lightning, I know there was one, The Call of Cthulhu. That was the last song on Ride the Lightning, which was also a long instrumental. I'm surprised they didn't finish the album on this.
You mean Cthulhu, that thing?
Yeah, like
what was he?
The sea
creature.
Demon, yeah. Did you see that South Park where they had him on?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, like Cartman's like literally whispering in his ear like the angel and devil trope, Yeah, it's pretty good. So this is an awesome instrumental, I would say. Mm-hmm. This is probably like top 10 metal instrumentals.
Yeah.
This is total air band song right here, like when you're doing your air guitar.
Mm-hmm.
This is air guitar headbanging. Yep.
Yep. All right, so let's just wrap this up. So last song is Damage Incorporated. And to me, this was kind of a rehash of Disposable Heroes because it's basically the same theme or message. It has a very long intro.
Oh, yeah.
Like it takes, a minute and a half until it really gets started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of the intros are like the favorite parts of my Metallica songs for me.
Mm-hmm. This kind of brings the record full circle because now it's starting to get back to that speedier thrash from the first side.
Yeah. This isn't a letdown. This is very much we're going to end this with zero relief.
Yep.
Let me try to get to some lyrics. I have a feeling Dave Mustaine probably wrote this song. This sounds to me like a Megadeth song more than a Metallica song.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it. This is definitely one of my other favorite songs on the album.
Really?
Yeah, I do like it.
I don't know if you're a big Megadeth fan, but if you check out their 80s stuff, it sounds a lot like this. So, this was a good way to end the album. Although I think Orion probably would have been a better finisher.
Oh, the instrumental.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So we're going pretty long, so let's wrap this up here. Let's see. All right, so let's go around the room. What was your favorite track on this album? Let's start with Milo. He's the guest.
Yeah.
Well, I think I kind of already said it. Welcome Home.
Okay.
Yep. And I said the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess you can consider that a deep cut. It's not, although I would say like the second half of the album is more deep cuts, but it's it's definitely a deep cut as far as it's not the usual Metallica sound, because like that's like probably like the slowest song on the record.
Yeah,
and
that's probably why I like it.
Yeah, it's a little more gothy or grungy or emo.
No, I just feel like the guitar on that, it's not like grinding away like most of their songs. It's very beautiful and melodic, the guitar on this. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, I would say it's probably like the most progressive of the entire album.
Yeah.
Like it's almost a ballad, sort of. But it's hard to imagine like any other band doing that song.
Oh, God, no. Somebody covering that?
I mean, I would say it's sorry to be a basic bitch here, but I mean, to me, Master of Puppets it's the best song on this album and one of the best Metallica songs, one of the best metal songs. And to me, I appreciate it as an 8.5 minute thrash song with, some acoustic parts and change ups here and there. Like it's not just chugga chugga for 8.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue with you on that. I agree. That is a really good song. And the fact that they give you that break in the middle, you're like, okay, I got to slow it down just a little bit and change it up so you can listen to an over 8 minute long song and still appreciate it. It's really well done. I certainly wouldn't argue with it.
Yeah, I would say I think Disposable Heroes is a little over long. That one's 8:16.
Jeez.
But I think every other song here is about where it should be. Most of them, I mean, Orion's 8.5. But
I feel like Orion's a bit long.
It just has a slow build.
Instrumental.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if there's like a single version of that. But listening back to this, I mean, they always say like great works of art are the ones that just stand the test of time, and I would say that's true of this album. Like, this is I didn't listen to it back in 1986, but I can definitely appreciate it as much now, and I enjoy it. I wouldn't say like every single track on here is an absolute banger for me, but it's a solid album and definitely one of the greatest metal albums. Christina, this was your first real listen to it?
Yeah. It's okay.
Your cat's going to town on that poster. He's like, I will destroy you, poster.
Usually they don't want to be in the videos at all. This is probably not my least favorite Metallica album, because there's certainly some I haven't heard, but I don't like this as much as
the Black album.
Fade to Black. It's a Black album or Fade to Black? The album.
Fade to Black's a song.
What album?
I think it's called the Black Album.
Yeah, it's just called Metallica.
Yeah, well, the album's called Metallica, but I think everybody calls it the Black Album because it's the black cover. Is that right? Yeah, that sounds right.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the one in the early 90s. It might be the same album that has Enter Sandman.
Yeah, that's the Black album.
That's the Black. Okay, that's my favorite Metallica album. That's when I became familiar with them. That was probably 1991, 92.
It's a great album. I
was trying to find.
I can still listen to that to this day.
I could too.
Actually, shout out to Totally 80s and 90s Recall podcast. They did an episode on the Black album 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, I don't know if you know that show or not, but I would say it's definitely one of my favorite shows in this space. And hopefully we can do a collab with them someday. But Milo, thanks for doing the show. We're going a little longer than you normally do. Just before you go, can you just give us some plugs? Where can people find you?
Yeah, the 80s and 90s Uncensored, any podcast app, just search for that. The website is the80sand90s.com. You can find me on Instagram and that kind of stuff, but just go to the website from there. You can.
By the way,
work your way out.
That's a great URL, the80sand90s.com.
How'd you get that? Did you buy that like 20 years ago?
No, Jamie got it. My host, and he, I don't know how he managed to get it, like how it wasn't already taken. But we started it up probably 5 years ago, and it just for whatever reason was not taken.
You know how they always say, like, if you had a time machine, like, what would you do? I'd be like, I'd just go back to like the early 90s and just register like every domain name.
Yeah, all the good
Just
everything.
squat, just squat on everything,
Yeah.
CNN.com is mine.
That's like in the future, like our kids, our grandkids, their TV shows, podcasts, all that stuff is just gonna be random letters and numbers because everything else is gonna be taken.
True.
Yeah. Well, this was a lot of fun. If you want to do it again, we'll be down for it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, maybe we should try something like completely. We still haven't done any video games yet or TV shows, but we're gonna try to get to that.
Oh yeah, down for TV shows or video games, depending on the video game. But
Yeah.
I definitely watch a lot of television, so I could definitely do TV shows. Certainly.
Cool.
Yeah, and we could do it like as a crossover episode or something where we just post it to both of our
definitely
channels or something like that.
Yeah,
Just
let's
do
do
one
it.
and then we post on both. Be fun.
Well, that's what we'll do with these 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching, listening, and we'll see you next week on the flip side.
Yeah.
Smell you later.
Smell you later. Thanks, Milo.
All right. Bye.